What's up, everybody? This is Information Man of the Information Man Show. As you know, I've been busy on the YouTube streets, managing different channels. And this one today, I'm going to say some things that people are going to agree with and certain groups are not going to agree with because everybody is in their silos. Everyone is inside their different groups with different alphabets. But I'm going to tell the truth today as to why the reparations issue is becoming more and more difficult for Black people to get over the hump with. And the things that I'm going to say are going to be quite obvious to you. I've got lots of footage from what happened on August the 31st at the state capitol in California. All the chaos, the foolishness that was going on that impacted the California Black Caucus did not bring their own bills to be voted on. Gavin Newsom playing a lot of games. And so I open up the program today with Fred Hampton from Chicago. He was a Black Panther. He was an activist. The man was assassinated by the police department of Chicago. Many people believe that to be true, allegedly. I have to say allegedly. This is YouTube because for legal purposes, but we know what they did to Fred Hampton. Now, the reason why I open up with him on the screen is because if you all look through old videos, you can dig these videos up yourself. Fred Hampton said something that I think Black people are still struggling with today across the board. And I'm talking about Black people who have lineage to this country, who can trace their history back to those plantations, to the slave trade, the whole nine yard. And one of the things that he said is that Black people need a political education.
Tell the truth.
Because the reason why this happened in California and the reason why we've been struggling with the reparations issues, because we also have a lack of understanding of politics and how politics work. I've said, and I'll say it again, politicians don't work for us. That we don't work for politicians, they work for us. But most importantly, politicians are only focused on permanent interests. They're not concerned about enemies. They're not concerned about friends. They're concerned about numbers, permanent interests. Do you have the numbers to sway the political day? And I'm afraid that Black people, as much as we get on social media and talk about reparations and we get into silos on Twitter, get in these little small spaces and we think we've got this big coalition, we really don't. And the reason why these Black politicians and politicians in general can ignore us, can take us for granted because, one, they don't respect us. They don't respect our political power. They don't respect the numbers that we bring to the table. And most importantly, they already know that we are not on the same page as Black people. We are completely off code and completely not on the same page. This is why Black politicians in California, Black politicians nationally across the country, this is why they play us for fools and twos and fools. The Democratic Party has been playing us for fools for way too long. They promise us something. They'll say, "Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to look into reparations. We want to give you reparations." But then they want to tie it up into the bureaucracy of a study. The California Task Force has gotten further than any task force in the country. They've gotten further than the H.R. 40 bill that has gone nowhere at the federal government level. But what we're doing wrong, and I'm going to say it just like it is, our problem is that we have too many damn groups. We've got Freeman, we got FBA, we got the ADOS, we got people that I'm Native American, I was always here. We're too split across so many damn groups. Black folks want to be every damn thing, but be black. Then we say, well, the gay community is getting this, the Latino. That's because they're on code with each other. The gay community, the Latino community, the Asian community, they're not running around. The Jewish community, they're not running around creating splinter groups. They're actually coming together as one big giant force to say, yes, we need a bill that's going to protect us from being harmed. Yes, as the gay community, we need a bill that will allow us to get married or do whatever we want to do. Those other groups are getting further ahead than us because they're on the same page. They're not creating other groups that cut into the pie. You are stronger in larger numbers as a full coalition because politicians look at numbers. They don't look at all the yelling and the boisterous stuff. That doesn't matter to them. They're looking at numbers. Do you have the numbers to bring forth them getting out of office? Do you have the numbers other than the same people that they see every damn time? The Black Caucus of California has no will. They have no willpower. They have no respect for black people. They have no respect for the very people that they're supposed to serve. But ask yourself, why would they have respect for those of us in the reparations movement when they can clearly see that the movement is split, it's splintered, with different factions going this way and that way, but going nowhere? And then we haven't learned the lessons of Fred Hampton, who told us black people need a political education. If we realized that if we had a political education or we understood politics, we would understand the political games that they're playing in California and the political games that they play nationally. And then we would know how to do what? Counteract the political games. Instead, we spend too much time arguing over alphabets. Are you ADF? Are you ADOS? Are you FBA? Are you Freeman? All these damn terms that have, and guess what? All these terms that we're splittering ourselves into, it's getting us nowhere. It's creating confusion. Why would these politicians, black or white, respect anything that we say, that we do, when they can clearly see that there's a split within the reparations movement? Everybody is going. It's just like church. Why do you think we have all these churches today? You got Third Baptist, Second Baptist, First Baptist, Catholic. You have all these different religions because somebody didn't agree with somebody, so they went off and created their own thing. Now it becomes convoluted. The focus becomes splintered all over the damn place. I don't understand why we as black people can't all get on the same page and say we all agree with reparations, whether you're a black conservative, a black liberal, black whatever, rich, poor, and otherwise. At the end of the day, we need reparations. The Jewish community didn't set up and argue with each other, set up on social medias or whatever medias that they use and argue back and forth and then split their group up. They were lock, stop, and barrel and said, this is what happened to us in the Jewish Holocaust, and this is what we want. Everybody talks about the Japanese and what they got. The Japanese got the money that they got because they had to go through political means. They had to go through hearings. I've seen all the videos. The Japanese got their money because they were steadfast. During Ronald Reagan's time, they were trying to stop them from getting it, and they were on the same page, steadfast. And then they got the money. They got, what was it, $20,000 for what happened to their folks that were put in camps in California. Of course, black people, we haven't gotten anything. But the one thing I noticed is that you didn't see Japanese people splintering their group. You didn't see Japanese people creating another group over here. No, they were all lock, stock, and barrel. That's our problem right there. We're too busy caught up in our clubs. And then we're surprised and shocked. I did my other video where I talked about this, but I had time to think about it, do more research, and really understand that we don't have any real black leadership in California. Black people, this is what happened to black people in California. We're being gentrified out of California, and the black politicians know they don't have to fear black people in California because they already know that we're being gentrified, our voices are being drowned out, that we have no economic power, and we don't even have black politicians who are even willing to stand up for us. They're concerned, again, politics is not about friends, it's not about enemies, it's about permanent interests. These politicians are going to do what's in their best interest, and if you don't have the numbers to give them the interest that they want, this is what's going to happen. We have to also blame ourselves because we put these people in office. Some of these politicians don't care because we have what we call term limits in California. So some of these folks, their term is coming up. I think state senator of the I think he's the 35th district. This brother here, Bradford, who looked like he was taking lead and trying to get this thing passed over the hump. And then you later find out, I was listening to Tone Talks, you later find out that he was involved in jiving the Bruce family of the Bruce Beach, that he was in there with Gavin Newsom, ripping those black people off, giving those black people nothing that they can use. Nothing that was going to benefit them because they ended up having to sell the land back to California because they couldn't develop anything because it's a landmark. So the family couldn't make any money off of it. Bradford was involved in that debacle. This guy right here is Isaac Bryant. You're going to see video of him playing the game. He's another one of these do-nothing Black Caucus members of California who set up there and they didn't put those bills to be voted on. This woman right here is Miss Loya D. Wilson, Miss Wilson, who you're going to see in a video comes out and talks to folks, and they're saying, hey, put it to a vote, do nothing. You're going to see this man walk out and sort of tease, sort of laugh at the crowd of people, the group of people that were there that were protesting. This is Mr. Reggie Jones Sawyer. I think he might be one of those people that's up for the term limits. Then you've got Tina McKinney. These are members of the Black Caucus of California who have failed black people. And they also, as I said, are not on the same page. They're not on code together. They're not on code to be on code for black people that put them in office. And then those of us that put them in office, we're not even on code with each other. We're all over the place with this issue. We even got black folks that'll tell you in your face that black people don't deserve no reparations. We're all over the damn place with this issue. I'm going to go from the beginning of this reparations movement, organizations, and then bring it on up to ADOS. Now, let's be honest. The reparations issue was dead for a number of years. And I'm going to give credit where credit is due, and I don't care what anybody thinks. It's a fact that the ADOS or the ADOS movement with Tone Talk, Yvette Carnell, I don't care what you think of them, they are the ones that sparked this reparations conversation in the first place and made it go national. They're the ones. They were trying to build a coalition because Tone Talk said the whole idea was not to try to get reparations out of the state of California that's got all types of billion-dollar deficits, but to create a framework to put pressure on the federal government to move forward past this H.R. 40 bill, to get that H.R. 40 bill passed. The idea was to create momentum, create a coalition where you got all black people working in unison, not splinter groups of people over here and over there. You can't get nothing done when the federal government and the state governments can see that you're not even unified completely. And then we haven't gotten the right people in office that are actually have the courage to put bills on the table that we need. Like I said, Fred Hampton said that black people need a political education. I tend to think that we lack that. That's just how I feel about it. Let's go to the very beginning, how all this splinter group stuff happens. You had in Cobra, reparations now for slavery, and its continuing legacy. Now, a lot of people moved away from in Cobra because in Cobra is sort of an organization or a group of black people that you would say are sort of like Pan-African. And a lot of people have been Pan-African. A lot of people have gotten away from Pan-African. I was into Pan-African philosophy and thought when I was in college, but I eventually moved away from it. So it was in Cobra originally that was pushing forth the idea of reparations. What is in Cobra? The National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America is a mass-based coalition organization. What I'm saying is this is one example of a group that was pushing for reparations, although they did not get that far in their, I remember when I was growing up as a teenager, or when I was in my 20s, getting what they call, petitions where you sign. I got petitions from in Cobra that I signed to petition the government. They were doing those sort of things. But eventually people split away from them. What I'm saying is our problem is that we can't unify under one big giant reparations flag where we all be on the same page to bring our numbers together, large numbers, to create a mask. What you saw in California at those hearings or at the night that they were passing bills is that you had some black people out there. I think C-Jack was out there, Brother Chris and C-Jack and all of them. They were out there pushing the issue. But I got to be honest, I'm sorry, there just wasn't enough people. There's not enough numbers. And the reason why I think we don't have the numbers, because this is what politicians look at. If you understand politics, that's how it works. When they don't see a lot of numbers and they see the same people, they don't have any fear as to what you're going to do to them. They have no fear of you. Numbers, meaning coalitions, need to be built across the country. Coalitions in California need to be built between black folks in Southern California, Northern California. Everybody needs to be coming together in large numbers. And Cobra originally was founded in a meeting on September 26, 1987. I was about, 18 or 17 years old at that time, was convinced for the purpose of broadening the base of support. So they wanted to broaden, that's really what I should be saying, broaden the base of support for the longstanding reparations movement. Organizational founders of NCOBRA included the National Conference of Black Lawyers, the New African Peoples Organization. See, a lot of their roots was in Pan-Africanism. The Republic of New Africa. NCOBRA has individual members and organizational affiliates. It has chapters throughout the United States and in other countries like Ghana, London, Ghana in Africa, London, and economic development, human resources, legal strategies, legislation information, and media membership, and organizational development, international affairs, and youth and education. That's what NCOBRA was all about. That was one of the first groups that I ever remember hearing about that was talking about reparations. This comes before ADOS. This comes before FBA. This comes before Even people now saying, hey, I'm a freeman, which was really a Freeman Bureau. What we've done is we have sliced ourselves like a pie, like a pizza. It's all over the place. And the people that are in power that would have to write the checks, that would have to write the legislation, they already see this, they know this. And the black politician is no different. I'm going to say it again. California is a unique place. We got further than anybody around the issue of reparations, because in California, you can't just simply say, oh, I'm black. You have to identify your particular group, which they did, and you have to identify that you were a group that was harmed in some way or fashion due to policies in California that hurt black people. These politicians did not bring this to a vote like they should have. Let's go back here and give you a back stage here. How to qualify for reparations. So Shirley Weaver was one of the ones that spearheaded, or she was down with reparations in California. She was pushing it. She's a part of I believe the California Black Caucus, the California Legislation Black Caucus policy institution, and they didn't even vote on policies that they should have voted on that were put before the people. I'm going to read this for you. You may not be able to see the writing, but let me go ahead and let me read something here. And here it is. California Legislation Black Caucus remain steadfast. This is a lie what they wrote here. This is them on the letterhead. Remain steadfast in our commitment to advancing the California Legislation Black Caucus 2024 reparations priority legislation package. Well, if they did, they would have put it up for vote. There were two bills that they did not put up for a vote. So this is all a lie. The California Legislation Black Caucus has chosen to concentrate on our collective energies on the legislation priorities that the entire caucus has voted on and those that positively impact black Californians. There has been interest in regarding the status of Senate Bill 1403. Is that one of these bills that they didn't vote on? The caucus was unable to participate in the legislation process, collecting, and only recently became aware of the concerns and issues with the bill. This is bullshit. In its current form, one of the primary concerns with the bill is that it created legislative oversight authority, which is critical given the generational impact this legislation would have. We are well past the amendment deadline. Therefore, the decision has been made to continue working on this bill and reintroduce it in the next session. There are other bills in the priority package where we're taking this approach to assure they fully reflect the needs of the community we represent and aspirations of the community that we represent. Regarding the status of Senate Bill 1331, the California Legislation Black Caucus will not be moving it forward this year. The bill is not part of the California Legislation Black Caucus 2024 reparations priority, the package. Therefore, questions should be directed to the author of the office. We understand that legislation process is complex and does not always unfold initially. This is the bullshit that they put out. This is what you call damage control, everybody. And let me educate you on how these bills are done. So step one, the bill is drafted. You come up with a draft, right? Which they already did this with this reparations bill. Step two, the bill is introduced, right? You introduce the bill. Step three, the bill goes into a committee, which they did. Step four, you have a subcommittee to review the bills. So this is why what they said is bullshit. They had more than enough time to review the bills, to look at what they didn't like in the bill, make the changes so that they could do what? Introduce it to the legislation. They were cowards, cowardly lions. Because I'm going to say again, black people don't have black leadership in California. And for that much, we don't have real black leadership in the country as a whole for black people. We watch everybody in this country get theirs, but we can't get ours. The next step after you send this to the subcommittee for review, which is what they should have done before telling us, oh, we're going to introduce it another time. You should have reviewed and fixed the problem so you wouldn't have to delay this. They're delaying because they don't want to deal with this issue. Step five, the committee markup of the bill, meaning they change some things. They look at it. So this is all bullshit what the Black Caucus is telling you of California. Number six, voting by the full chamber on the bill. That's what they were supposed to do on August the 31st, last Saturday night. And the Congressional Black Caucus of California, or the Legislation Black Caucus, they failed in doing their due diligence. They failed in making sure that they did the markup on this bill. They made the changes so that they could introduce it, and they killed their own damn bills. Step seven, referrals of the bill to other chambers. Step eight, the bill goes to, in this case, in the United, this is how all bills are dealt with in our government at the federal level. But in this case, the bill goes to not the president, but the bill goes to Gavin Newsom, the governor. Same system, same process. In this case, it goes to Gavin Newsom so that he can sign off. Step nine, overriding a veto. Just like a president, a governor vetoes a bill that Congress may attempt to override the veto. Well, in state government, same thing. The governor could veto that bill and tell the legislation, bring me back another bill that's better than that bill, fix the problems. That's Gavin Newsom. And you're going to hear from Gavin Newsom. I've got clips of Gavin Newsom and his bullshit too. These folks are responsible. They're responsible for the failure. This is the This is the California Legislation Black Caucus. Mike Gibson, Shirley Weaver, from what I understand, she's not even taking calls ever since this thing went down. She was not taking calls. These are the bills that they failed to put on the table. Check this out right here. SB 1331, funds for reparations, restorative justice, justice, reparations, and reparative justice, should I say. Here's the other bill. SB 1403, California American Freedmen's Affairs Agency. All Gavin Newsom did was give us more bureaucracy. There was talk about him giving $6 million so there can be another study, bogged down in another study, right? But they didn't want to deal with these bills. They didn't want to deal with SB 1403, which would be to restore a Freedmen's Bureau. And they didn't want to restore, or they didn't want to add the 1331, which was how they're going to go about funding and paying people. Let's go over here. Sacramento, California leaders of California Reparations Task Force have criticized California Legislation Black Caucus after it blocked the California Assembly here at Capitol from voting on two reparation proposals, including SB 1403, as I said, to establish reparation agency, and SB 1331 to establish a reparation fund. They screwed up big time.
Tell the truth.
Terrible. And remember the Baco in San Francisco? California is set to become the first state to introduce a series of reparations bills. Remember in San Francisco, they were talking about doing something to help people that were disenfranchised in San Francisco in terms of black people, and that whole damn thing fell apart. Here's the bill that has done nothing so far, and that's the H.R. 40 bill, Commission to Study and Develop Reparation Proposals for African Americans, should be Black American Act, and that's gone nowhere. To establish a commission to study the development of reparations, the commission shall examine slavery. We don't need any more commissions, folks. Y'all know what y'all did. Right here, Black California warns Newsom of a direct impact on Harris after Dems killed slavery reparations bill. Yeah, will it have an impact on Harris? You got to remember, California is a completely liberal state. I don't know how much the black vote is going to have an impact on here, because really the Democrats have California stock locked and barreled and locked up. It's the other states across the country that she has to get and is concerned about. But I don't know how the black vote in California is going to have an impact, because they determine who the damn winner of the damn election even before they even get to California. So I don't know how. Will it have an impact by other black people hearing about this? Probably so. Being angry because they see it as another example of the Democratic Party failing and doing something for black people. Right here, California budget deficit swells to a record $68 billion as tax revenue has falls. So we got problems in California. The money, but the question I'm going to say again is, they spend the money where they really want to spend the money. Okay? They want our vote, but they don't spend no money on us. That's the problem. Let me go ahead and let y'all see these clips. It should be quite interesting what you're going to see right now. Okay, everybody? I appreciate everybody listening. And let's get at it right now. I want y'all to definitely hear the first clip right here. This is Chris from CJAC. Like I said, there's all these different groups. CJAC, there's all these different groups that are all pushing for reparations, but everybody's in their own little separate groups. And I feel personally that waters down our power. It waters down our numbers. It waters down everything when you are split in all these different groups, and these politicians can see it. And then you wonder why they have no respect. They go by numbers. That's how politics work. They go by numbers. They are frightened by numbers. They're not frightened by a small number of people at all. I just got to tell that truth. They're not.
Tell the truth.
Even though we know that they're despicable. So I showed this one before, but I want you to see this.
The speaker needs to bring the bills up now. These are their bills. They have their names on the bills. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Now, listen, they gonna see this and they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills, then they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Okay? We don't care.
We need to
bring the goddamn bills up now.
So basically, Chris, I think he's the president or the leader of the CJAC movement in California. It's a California-based organization that's been involved at the ground level in fighting for reparations. I know Yvette Carnell did a video just past week where she said that a lot of these people that are members of these groups are people that were first rocking with ADOS, and they sort of went off and did their own thing. And her and Tone Talk believe that these groups that have split off to do their own thing are, in their opinion, they've actually hurt the reparations movement. That's Tone Talk's opinion about it. And Yvette Carnell, they feel that that folks splitting off like they did and impacting ADOS when ADOS was having a lot of momentum. And I'm going to say again, when you have larger numbers, you can do more. When you have a larger coalition of black people all on the same page, you can do a lot more. And I totally agree with this. But I think a lot of times you can have ego that gets involved. Everybody wants to be, I was the one that, ego. We got to learn to put our egos aside. Even Tone and Yvette Carnell got to put their egos aside too and look at what's best for black people. I know Tone is not happy with the fact that he was originally supposed to be on the California Task Force for reparations and recommendations. And I think he felt like there were certain groups of people that have splintered off that were involved in impacting him from not being picked to be on that task force. There was some sort of something going on behind the scenes. But this is what happens when black people are not on the same page and we've got different groups. This is what happens. Every group is trying to get theirs. Every group is trying to be recognized. Every group is speaking a different philosophy from the other group. And this is the problem. We need to be on the same page. We cannot split the movement. That's the problem. We do the same thing when it comes to religion. We got black Muslims, black people that's Moors, black people that are Baptists, and they'll say, hey, I'm a Baptist, you're a Moor, or you're a Muslim, so I don't even want to deal with you. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's in their different groups, their religious groups, their different clubs, and then you separate yourself, and it actually hurts the overall power of a movement when everybody's on different pages. That's just how I feel about it when I really look at this.
The governor needs to understand that the world is watching California, and this is going to have a direct impact on your friend, Kamilah Harris, who's running for president. This is going to have a direct impact. So pull up the bills now, vote on them.
Do you think that this is going to have a direct impact on Kamilah Harris? Put sevens in the chat room if you agree with her. Will it have an impact? Are black people around the country aware of what's happening in California? Are black people aware of this in large numbers? Black people who are saying that they don't want to vote for the Democrats, will this be another cap in the feather for them to say why they're not going to vote for the Democrats because the Democrats doing what they did in California? In this case, black Democrats to black people as it relates to two bills of reparation bills that they put their names on, that they did not bring up for a vote because now they want to claim in a letter that they put out that there was some issues with the bill that they wanted to look at and fix. When I already told you what the process is for bills, they have a time where they do reviews, they do markups to make sure the bill is exactly the way they want it. And so the Black Caucus of California tells black people some BS. This is why I go back to Fred Hampton saying that black people need a political education so that you can understand how the game is played on us. Let's continue.
We have
We've
the
been
votes.
waiting for over 400 years.
Tell the truth.
Check this out.
This place is buzzing with anticipation to try to figure out what is the status of their bill, and we are officially less than an hour away
Thank
until
you,
we
everybody,
find out
for
what
being
the
here.
results
I
are going to be
appreciate
of
you
all
all
the
in the
bills
chat room. I
that
really
they
do.
haven't voted on. If it is passed, it is going to go to the Governor Newsom's office to see if he will sign or not. But if it doesn't, it is going to die on the House floor. So we're trying to figure that out. But the biggest buzz in this building were bills that weren't voted on, like funding reparations. The final hours of the California legislative session kicking into overdrive as lawmakers try to get their bills approved. On Sunday, lawmakers passed landmark bills to make amends for racism. The proposal they approved allows for the return of land or compensation to families whose property was unfairly taken by the government, and in a formal apology for laws and practices that harmed black people. But the buzz surrounding the reparation bills package was over what wasn't addressed: direct payments.
We laid the foundation that those bills are critically important to, stand up what reparations would be here in the state.
Now, this is Senate Bradford. He represents District 35 in California. I was talking the last time that, hey, this man was rocking to get it done. But later on, I find out through further research and looking at a video from Tone Talks that he was part of the whole manipulation and bullshit with the Bruce family, the Bruce's Beach in Southern Cal. He was in there taking a photo op with Gavin Newsom, who all these politicians bullshitted those black folks. Those black folks had to end up giving that land back. Just want to keep it in perspective here.
State of California.
State Senator Stephen Bradford authored SB 1403, aims to establish the California American Freedmen Affairs Agency, while SB 1331 funds reparations. Both were not voted on.
We should have gotten it to the governor's desk. He never signaled he would veto the bill. He just said he had some concerns, as they have with many bills. So, but that doesn't mean you don't move forward with the bills, because, you know, you can fix them.
The California
So right there, they never moved forward with the bills. As many of you have heard this before, and this is what caused the crowd, or should I say, the number of people that were there to be upset. Once again, I want you to look at this. There are black people there protesting and speaking out. The question is that will this move the needle when it is obvious that you don't have a large coalition of number of people, meaning you need these politicians fear numbers. They fear hundreds and thousands of people, and I mean thousands of people banging on their door. They don't fear a small number of people that are speaking out against them, which they should. But my question tonight is, can you really move the needle with politicians when they respond to numbers because they're looking at votes? And they had every right, those that showed up, they had every right to voice their opinion about what they were not happy about. I'm not, this is the facts. They were cowards that night. The Black Caucus of California is a coward. And what we got to do as a solution is you got to get rid of these people. You got to get them out of office. Or if their term limits are up, you need to put people in office who are talking reparations. And then you need to let them know, if you're telling us that you're for reparations and you don't do anything to put a bill before the legislation of California, when you've worked on a bill over a period of time, we're going to get rid of you. And we're going to make your life very difficult as a politician, every which way we turn. To make you, to call you out to the carpet and let everybody know that you're not doing your job to work for the people that put you in office. Check this out. Right here, Lisa Jackson gave me a $5 super chat. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
Lisa Jackson says, I do believe it will have an impact on her being elected. I'm from New York, and I will not be voting for her anyway. Yeah, it could have an impact. I think you might be hitting on something. I'm not going to deny that. A group is going to have to take over a district to show that they mean business. Right. But you got to have numbers. And what I'm trying to tell you, I know people don't want to hear this, but this whole rivalry, this whole split between FBA and ADOS and Freeman, this whole thing where we got black folks on all these different little different areas. I'm being honest with you. It ain't helping us. If you look at history, you look at every group that got something. See, we like to often say, well, this group got this and this group got that. Why don't you study what that group did? Why don't you study, did that group have splinter groups? Did that group have a fallout? Did they have people speaking against the other people? No. All these groups that got something were on the same damn page. They were on code. Black people, we like to use that word code. We're not on code. These black politicians are not on code, and we're not on code as a people. We're all over the damn place. You can't get anything like that at all, because these politicians can look and see, they don't have the numbers. I don't need to break my back for them. I'm just keeping it real with you. This is something that people don't want to hear. I think the worst, I think having all these different reparations group is actually not helping us. I think it's actually hurting us. Instead of rallying around a philosophy that's actually working towards getting reparations, that's based politically because you're not going to get reparations no other way. How else you think you're going to get reparations? It's not going to fall out of the sky. You can talk about it till you're blue in the face, but it ain't going to fall out of the sky. The only way you get reparations is that it has to come from the federal government or the government. They got the money. Nobody else has got the money to give us that reparation. So what do you can't get around politics. I'm going to say it again. Fred Hampton said, a real leader, not a guy on YouTube, not a guy talking in Twitter spaces, a guy who was a real activist, a brother that was a real activist, a brother that was part of the Black Panther Party, a brother who gave his life for us, a brother who was involved in the breakfast programs and in the health programs that they had for the community in Chicago. He told you black people need a political education. Without that, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. And understanding politics is understanding how to what? Manipulate the politicians to get what we want. Those of you that are part of a union, right? And you pay union dues. What do you think the union dues are for? Because your union needs the money and resources to bribe. I'm going to keep it real, to bribe and to manipulate these politicians into voting in a way that benefits the union members by giving them some money in the back pocket, by giving them some money to cut some type of deal. This is how politics works. It's dirty. You're not going to get reparations by just sitting in spaces and just talking about it for 3, 4 hours. And then after you leave that space, there's no plan of action. And then you have to ask yourself the most obvious question. Is the Democrats really going to give us reparations, or are the Republicans really going to give us reparations? Because neither one of these parties are even talking about it. And I want to say thank you to Lisa Jackson for that super chat. I appreciate that. What's going on, Brother Gibbs? I got some more for y'all. Wow. I got some more for y'all. Check this out. Check this out, everybody. Let's listen to this protest right here. This was all at the state capitol that day. They're talking about this woman right here. Miss Wilson, I believe this is Wilson right here. Let me put this up right here. They're talking about this woman right here. They want her out. They're protesting her. They felt that she didn't live up to what she was supposed to do. Let's hear this again. They're naming somebody that they want out. So you could hear people saying no more blue wave bullshit. And there's the woman right there. You see the cell phone in someone's hand. Look over to your right and you'll see this woman right here. Let me put this up. Here she is right here. Looks like she's cut her hair down. This is, I think, Miss Laura D. Wilson. and people are mad at her too because they are in her district that she represents, and they're also yelling out other names of people that they want to see gone. The question is, will this political body in California respect black people because they didn't respect us that night? And do we need the numbers? Large numbers, thousands of people. Shit, I wish we can get millions of people to really cause the cause and effect of what we want. Let's continue to hear this right here, y'all. Check this out. So they're saying whoever's running against her, contact us so that we can. But do they have the numbers? Numbers is what politicians look at. We got to be honest. District 11. She's in District 11. As you can see, there are black people there, but it's not like there's thousands of black people. I mean, it's the same people that were at the hearings, the various task force hearings that they were having over the last 2 years. I can see some of the people in this audience. It's the same people, and I'm glad that they're speaking up and they're there. But we need to build coalitions across the board with more people, because the numbers is what we need to really push this. And what I mean by numbers, that's number of people that are actually doing the work and number of people that are showing up to these situations, and large numbers to the point that it's overwhelming to the politicians that they can't take it for granted. Let's continue. She walks away. She's walking away right there. All right, everybody. So there it is. She walked away right there. But here is another one for you to hear. And here we go. Check this out.
Reparation. Yeah. Reparation.
What you have here, folks, is a situation where black people, the black people that are there, and I have respect for the people that showed up, is that they're saying reparation. What do we want? Reparations now. And this is the sad thing about it. If black people had true leadership as far as the California Black Caucus was concerned, if there were true black leadership, these black folks at the Capitol in Sacramento would have never had to chant at all, because we would have black politicians working for us. They put the bills together on our recommendations. There was a task force, a reparations task force that was doing their due diligence for 2 years. There were citizens from the community that came out and spoke and gave their mind and said what they wanted in the bill. They put this together. And then when it was time to take these two bills to a vote, they failed to step up. They cowered out. This is why those folks that you see on the video are upset. And there are, of course, black people that weren't there who are upset. I'm upset about it. But this should cause a spark to say, look, we need to build these coalitions of black people working with black people. Let's get past what alphabet group that you are a member of. You know, let's get past the semantics of whether you are FBA or ADOS, and we got to figure out a way how we can bring these numbers together to get what is necessary, period, because we need a political education. Politics does not work for just a small number of people yelling out. It has to be large numbers of people across the board. It has to be millions of black people in California that are getting on board with this. I want you to see the chaos that was going on in the California Legislation House. Let me let y'all see the chaos. They were just passing bills left and right that night. There was just craziness going on. And I listened and saw so many bills being passed, yet the two reparations bill, one to make a bureau, a Freedmen's Bureau, to bring that back. Two, a bill that was going to address the payments of reparations to black folks in California that were hurt and impacted by California in terms of their family, their land, their property, what have you. And these fools didn't have the guts to put it up there to get the job done. You've got this type of false leadership in California. It's not even leadership. These are just black folks in positions black people who put them there did everything to work with them over these last few years to get these packages together. And then they sit up there and bullshit around. And these folks have to be voted out of office. It's just that fact. But the reparations movement has to grow and expand. It has to stop splintering, and it has to expand. The splintering of the movement is not going to help us in the long run. Check this out.
Most of all, tallying votes, ayes 42, no 6. 216, AB 2348.
See the chaos? See the
Senate Bill
chaos?
2348 by Senator Ramos, enacted the California Emergency Services Act.
Thank you,
See
Mr.
the
Speaker.
chaos?
I rise today for concurrence of AB 2348.
See the chaos, y'all. Nothing but pure chaos going on. Check this out. Let's look at this. Another protest, and check it out. That's Bryant. This guy right here is Bryant, Isaac Bryant. Let me put a picture of him to the side. This guy was also a weasel that night. He is part of the California Legislation Black Caucus. He was trying to act like he was down with it. You see the people out here talking to him. He was a buffoon that night as well. Let's play it so you can hear it.
I've been working all day. But he gave the bill to people he trusted. But he gave the bill to people he trusted, and the people.
Did you hear what he said? He had to get 3 members to change their mind. That would be members of the Black Caucus to change their mind to bring it up. He said he can get 3 members, but he needs some more. This the politics going on. Why would he need to convince them of a bill that they put together with the blessing of black citizens of California who were working with them on this bill, going to the committee meetings, going to the task force meetings, giving their opinions and recommendations as to what they wanted to see in the bill. And now on the night that they're voting bills into laws in California, the last night of the legislation in California, they bullshit around. The Black Caucus doesn't have the guts to put the bills up. They're so concerned. They're so scared of the governor Newsom. What the hell's going on? Or it appeared that way. Check this out.
But the people who he trusts know that.
That's the fourth one.
Thank you all for being here.
You do it.
Yeah, we have to unite. Everybody's telling Isaac Bryan to go ahead and they said to him, you do it. You do it. And I'm going to show you a video of him that makes him and the Democrats look real bad in a minute. Check this out. Now he's whispering in Chris's ear.
Put him on the floor. Waking up in America now. Just put him on the floor.
Why not Americans and people that he works with? Why would they get on social media and play down the work that's been done? Put him on the floor, Brian.
One of the ladies says, go on the media and talk about how the work that's been done has been played down, or you're playing down the work.
No.
He just grandstanding politics.
Tina McKenna must go. Tina McKenna must go.
Now, when they say Tina McKenna, here she is right here. This is the woman that they're talking about. They're saying that she must go. I think they're very disappointed with her lack, right? They're calling her out. This is Tina McKenna. She is on the California Legislation Black Caucus, and I guess she chickened out that night as well. And that's the woman that you see on the screen that they're calling out her name. Let me let you hear it. This is these no do nothing black politicians. It's the misleadership class, and we have a lot of this. This is not just California. Look at the Congressional Black Caucus at the federal level. What have they done lately? Matter of fact, what have they done with the HR 40 reparations bill? Where is the study? They said that they were going to have a study. We have got no study from the HR 40 bill as of yet. What is going on? The HR 40 bill was introduced back in 1989 by brother what's that congressman's name? He came from Detroit. It was a congressman out of Detroit, and his name, I'm losing his name in my mind right now. Conyers. That's right. Congressman Conyers is the one that introduced the HR 40 bill back in 89. And guess how old I was in 89, y'all? In 89, I was, what was it? 89, I was what, 19 years old? I think, no, I was either 19 or 18 years old. Here I am, getting old, and they ain't done shit with it. And we got the same politicians like Clyburn in the federal government, the same black members of the Black Caucus that's been there all the way back to when Conyers introduced that HR 40 bill, and they've done nothing with it all these years. But this is the woman that they're talking about that they want to be called out, to be knocked out of office.
Tina McKenna must go. And we
Tina
are
McKenna.
in your district. We from your district.
We waking up. We are waking up.
Brother said we are waking up. Brother said he's waking up. Okay. It's quite something, y'all. It's quite something. I'm playing all of this to just put some things in perspective here. The whole situation is crazy. But now let me let you see. What happened to this cat right here. This whole thing is crazy. Boy. Man, you got to laugh to keep from crying, man. All these raccoons that we got in government. All these raccoons. And we wonder why we can't get nowhere. Check this out.
So this is Assemblyman Mr. Bryan. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking. And he's trying to block my access to it. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes?
You put black folks in prisons,
wasn't
but
here
now
for
you
3
want to be a
strikes.
reparations person.
Well,
But you won't vote
have
for the bill.
We should.
I
we should
supported the
have
bill
a
all
conversation.
session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the
Senator?
bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it
I
up.
would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
it up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
Let me tell you what's actually going on here, everybody. So I put him back up next to me. What's going on is that he's one of the members of that's Isaac Bryant, young assemblyman in California, part of the Black Legislation Caucus, Do Nothing Caucus in California. And the guy that he was talking to was a white guy who was a Republican who actually, this is a damn shame, it was a white Republican that was pushing the issue to bring the reparations bill up. So he was goading them on and saying, hey, let's bring those bills up. Aren't you for reparations? And that's why Isaac got a little attitude with him, because it made him look bad that someone of the opposite party, and the Republicans have no power really in California. California is completely a blue state and controlled by a Democratic legislation, right? But here you have someone that was a Republican that was pushing the notion of let's put these bills up. That's why him and Isaac were going back and forth there. Let me let y'all hear a little bit of this again. This is interesting, don't you think? And check this out.
So this is Assemblyman Mr. Bryant. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking. And he's trying to block my access here. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes. You put black folks in prisons, but
here
now
for
you
3
want to be a reparations person.
So what's going on? This is politics. Basically, the Republican, the white guy, is saying that, hey, you're trying to block me from making the issue of bringing the 2 bills for reparations up. But Isaac Bryan is saying that, hey, man, you want to come at me about reparations, but yet you're a guy who votes for 3 strikes to put black people in jail. Why am I saying this? Because this is politics. These politicians don't give a damn about us. They'll vote for anything that's in their interest. So now he's grandstanding by saying, hey, I'm going to speak up and say, I want to speak up and say, put those reparations bill on the floor. But at the same time, this is a man who Isaac is saying allegedly has voted legislation that would impact black people. These politicians play both sides of the argument. How many of y'all in the chat room are familiar with Neely Fuller Jr.? Neely Fuller Jr. has told us time and time again in his writings that white supremacists play both sides of an argument. They'll play the left side, they'll play the right side. So here you have a Republican talking to this cat about how, hey, bring those reparations bills up for a vote. Let me talk about it. But yet he's saying that this is also a guy who votes for bills that impact black people when it comes to law enforcement and locking us up. You see, they go both sides. They play both sides of an argument, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, Naps TV? He says, Information Man show that white Republican does not believe in cash payments. Right. That's why, Naps, I'm saying what I'm saying about he was goading him. That's why I made that statement that the Republican white guy was goading Isaac Bryant, because like Isaac said, you sitting up here talking about reparations, but you like to put black folks in jail. So we know that he was goading him and he was playing games, which is why I said, my dear brother, that white supremacists will take both sides of an argument. Neely Fuller Jr. told us this a long time ago. We should take heed. This is why my man was right, Fred Hampton, when he said that black people in general need a political education about how the game is played, because this was a game that was played this night in California, in Sacramento, California, which is the capital of California. Let's continue as we get on to another video.
But you won't vote for the bill.
We should.
I supported the bill all session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the
Civic?
bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it
I
up.
would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
it up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it. Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
So that's what was happening there. And there's the brother right there. He's a member of the legislation, the California Legislation Black Caucus. And this one I need to, this one was definitely a damn shame what I'm about to show you next. Without any doubt in my mind. And this is Reggie Sawyer. This is the Congress. This is not Congress, but this is Reggie Sawyer. He is been in the he's been working in government for a long time in California. He's part of this Black Caucus, and he was another one who didn't have the courage to bring it to a vote, and he was sort of taunting as he walked out of the chambers. The people that were there, they were sort of booing him, you know, boo, boo, you're a coward. And then he taunted them back as well. And this is a man who I have seen on video demos about reparations. This is a man that, along with Bradford, here's Bradford right here. I thought him and Bradford were working hand in hand to get this damn thing done. But like I said, these politicians, they feel like they have this mentality where they're looking at numbers. They don't see a system of permanent enemies or permanent friends. They only see permanent interest is the thing that they want to focus on. And let me go ahead and let you see what I'm talking about. This really is a damn shame what you're about to see. It's a sad commentary, should I say. And here we go. So you see, he has a laugh on his face as people are saying, sign the, vote on the bill. What are you doing, Reggie? This is Reggie Sawyer, Reggie Jones Sawyer. He's been in, government in California for a long time. And he sort of is laughing tongue in cheek at people, waving, and sort of as they're taunting him, he's kind of taunting them back as well. I'm gonna let y'all see it one more time. Reggie, come on. See? He's sort of taunting at them as they're taunting him and telling him, hey. All right. It's sort of a damn shame, everybody, that this is happening. It's really a damn shame. Let's go on to another video of this situation. Now, let's listen to what the governor had to say. This is Gavin Newsom. Let's hear his excuses, which are tools of the incompetent, and those that use excuses seldom succeed. Let's go ahead and hear what he had to say about it. This whole thing is a damn shame. I wish things were better. I really wish things were better. I wish we really didn't have these issues to deal with, but it sort of is what it is, as they say. But I don't like what's happening. So let's go to the other video. Let's get into the reaction studio right now, y'all. I appreciate everybody that's here. Make sure you share this video in all your social media. Share and share alike. I appreciate it if you can do that. Definitely thank you for watching the Information Man Show. Tell the truth, okay?
Tell the truth.
And subscribe to the channel. Share this in your Twitter or your X and your Facebook. If you're watching right now, you can simply just share it by hitting the share button and send it to wherever you want to send it right now. I appreciate that. And thank you for your patience tonight. We're going to be moving forward towards close conclusion, but we still got some more explosive things for you to see. And let's go ahead and let you see this. Check this out. This is Gavin Newsom's being questioned about the whole reparations. Why didn't these bills get put to him to sign? Or why didn't they get put to a vote, should I say? They have to be voted on and approved before they get to his desk. Check this out.
While we're on this subject of bills, I just want to know, what did you know about bills not being brought to the floor? Two critical reparation bills, Senate Bill 1403 and Senate Bill 1331.
Forgive me, because there's over 1,000. I'm not very good at the numeric, but
agency.
Yeah, I know a little bit about that. What I do know is
Bradford's desk on August 20.
You could tell this man sort of has a little bit of an attitude because the brother is really, asking him some questions that he really don't want to hear. Don't go nowhere, everybody. I got some more stuff. I got some stuff from Tone Talks. He's really going to be very critical. He's going to be very critical about what took place in California in terms of the people that were there. And of course, Cornel West has a few words to say. So don't go anywhere as we get close to the conclusion. But let's hear this.
26.
As it relates, well, hold on. We work with the legislature throughout the legislative process on amendments. Sometimes they advance those amendments. Sometimes they don't take our amendments, and those bills are sent to my desk. I think you're referencing bills that were not sent to my desk that did not pass through the legislature. As it relates to the broader issue of reparations, which I appreciate both of you referencing, we work very closely with the Black Caucus on a package of reparations reforms. We met before the legislative session. We met during the legislative session. We worked very collaboratively on amendments. We also worked on bills without amendments. And I think the vast majority of those.
Here he said he worked very closely with this group of people, the Black Caucus of California that you see right there. So if he worked closely with them, why is there an issue, everybody? I appreciate everybody that's here. Why is there an issue, everybody?
That we agreed to and worked collaboratively together with the Black Caucus have ended up on my desk. I'll be reviewing them all on the merits, and I want to applaud the head of the Black Caucus, Lori Wilson, who's been spectacular in advancing those bills, their principles, and advancing them in a collaborative spirit.
Much under fire about those two critical bills that did not make it to your desk.
Well, those bills, you'll have to ask them, the legislature, why those didn't land on my desk.
Did you tell the Black Caucus that you would veto the Reparations Agency and Reparations Fund bills?
I didn't talk directly to anyone about those two bills. As it relates to the process of how bills are done broadly in the state, there's a collaborative process. People ask our opinions. Are there concerns? Issues that have dollar figures are consistently marked, consistently. If it wasn't done in the budget, that's going to be a challenge. There's always exceptions to that, but that's going to be a challenge. And that was a process that unfolded over the course, as I said, of months, particularly as it relates to the reparations package, in partnership with the Black Caucus. And there was no daylight with Lori Wilson and the Black Caucus as it relates to the work that we did collaboratively together.
Lori Wilson is the council member that you see right here, state senator, and she's one of the ones that's under scrutiny. She was in some of the videos that I showed you, or one of them, where people were talking to her. They were very upset. She's one of the ones. I think something happened where they, and I don't agree to this. I think something happened where she got doxxed. Somebody doxxed this woman. If you're trying, I'm just gonna keep it real. If you're trying to get reparations, and you need people within the government system that you're supposed to be that's I guess supposed to be working with you, You can't be doing things like allegedly. This is what was alleged. I don't know it for a fact, but it was alleged that someone may have doxed her. Maybe it was people that were upset that the bill wasn't moved. I don't know, but you start doing stuff like that. I just don't think you should dox people. Keep it based in politics. Keep it based in certain stuff. If you don't like her or any of these politicians, all you need to do is vote any of them out of office. Tina, Reggie Sawyer, who you saw kind of laughing there and waving his hands, lawyer Miss Wilson, just vote them out of office. Isaac Bryan, vote him out of office. And I'm sort of in between about Bradford, because Bradford has been sort of pushing the issue, but Bradford was involved, like I said, in that whole manipulation of the Bruce family of Bruce Beach in California, acting like they were doing something for them. He took a photo op, so it was good for him politically. Those folks didn't really get anything. They couldn't do anything with that land. They couldn't develop it and, gain money off of it. They had to sell it back because it's all land marked. They couldn't do anything with it. And that's an example of black people not having generational wealth when we come into something like that and we can't maintain it. Because you got an environment where it's a landmark and you can't build anything. So it didn't benefit them, unfortunately, to have the land back that was stolen from their great, their people. Bruce's Beach. Let's continue.
And let me just, on a personal note, and forgive me about this, she did not deserve to be attacked like she was attacked.
Oh, he's talking about it
Members
now.
of the Black Caucus did not deserve to be attacked and their integrity impugned. That was disgraceful.
That attack he's talking about is what I just said, the alleged doxing. And he's also saying that the Black Caucus members should not be attacked. But the question is, are the Black Caucus members of California doing the bidding and doing the work that the people that put them in elective office asked them to do? Why would they not present bills that were their bills with their names on it, and they killed their own bills? As I had said earlier.
And speaking to bring the bills up now. These are their bills. They have their names on the bills. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Now, listen, they gonna see this and they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills, then they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Okay?
There it is right there. That's the perspective that was out there. Back to the governor of California.
Members of that Black Caucus that are owed an apology for being treated the way they were treated, to be doxxed, to be personally maligned and attacked. So forgive me for expressing that. Great respect and admiration for the leadership of the Black Caucus and members of the Black Caucus.
All right.
Tell the truth.
All right, let's tell some truth. Let's get into some truth here. Here we got my man, Cornel West. Remember I told you a week ago that Cornel West, here's some dirty deeds of the Democratic Party. The Democrats are so concerned about Cornel West that they've done everything to keep him off ballots in various parts of the country. If Cornel West is not going to get enough votes to win the race, they want him out of the race because they're concerned that he could peel off some black votes. He could peel off some votes from white folks that like him. And so they're concerned about these third party candidates, and they have done everything to impact Cornel West. And Cornel West has been exposing the Democratic Party, he even came out and said, where's the black agenda? I've been saying that in the last video that I did. He's even said, where is Kamala Harris's black agenda? Because we don't hear it. Hell, where is the black agenda coming from the Republicans too? We really don't hear any black agenda coming from Kamala Harris or any real black agenda coming from even Trump, but we know that they want us to vote. They want us to put that envelope in those boxes or fill out our absentee ballots or fill out our ballots and put it right in the box like he's putting it in the box. And this is all about money, baby. Everybody is trying to get to that White House, and it takes billions and dollars to get one person into a damn White House that black people built. Ain't that something? But yet we can't even get a damn reparations bill. That's a damn shame.
Tell the truth.
Let's go to the next video. Let's hear from Brother Cornel West. Let's hear what that brother's talking about right now.
What we are witnessing in the state of California is the very essence of political cowardliness,
right,
in regard to the reparations bill, which should have been signed by the governor and that now is not just being delayed primarily by the Black Caucus, but put off, postponed with another commission, another investigation. That's the last thing we need. We need action. The governor's too obsessed with his presidential ambitions, and the politicians are too preoccupied with finding some position or status on the Democratic Party plantation. Please, we had enough of this. Where's your moral consistency? Where's your political courage? That's what we're looking for. That's precisely why our campaign puts reparations at the very center of its concerns about the black plight and predicament, in addition to the elimination of poverty, the elimination of homelessness and unhousedness, living wage, and on and on and on. Let us continue to fight. Don't get discouraged.
Tell the truth.
Did you agree or disagree with the perspective of a Cornel West? Now I'm going to give you another perspective from Tone Talks. He is one of the original people that came up with the American Descendants of Slavery, along with Yvette Carnell. And he has a very, I believe in having a show, having a program like this and giving balance. He has very critical things to say about those that were there protesting the caucus members. And he's going to break it down to you why he feels the way he does. And there's some things about what he says that's going to resonate with you, may be a ring of truth, may get under your skin, but may make you think a little bit. And, you know, this is the Information Man show. I believe in putting the information out there so that everybody can see all the different perspectives here. But here we go with Tone Talks. And he's going to say some things. I want y'all to pay attention because it is true. ADOS is responsible for pushing the issue of reparations again. They were the ones that brought the conversation back and pushed this to the national front. That's a fact. You cannot deny that. I don't care what groups people are a part of, which in my opinion, that's the problem already. We have splintered ourselves into so many damn groups that it's almost like watering down the drink. Right? You're watering down everything because we're not unified. We're not on one accord. And that's called being on freaking code. There's no other group in this country that has gotten things catered to them who were not on the same damn page, lock, stock, and barrel. Black folks, we're the only ones that will create other groups and then go against each other when our real enemies are not us. But we make each other enemies because everybody's fighting over, I'm a part of this group, I'm a part of that group. And it really becomes a problem when it's not getting us to what we really need, which is what we need is political legislation that brings forth reparations, because the money comes from the government. It ain't flying out of the sky, and ain't nobody on YouTube gonna give you the damn money. It's got to come from the government. It's got to come from people that we put into office that have our thinking. The problem with what we got going on right now is that we don't have people in political office that are on the same page with us, they're on code with us, and that they believe what we believe. We have people that are more concerned about their interests, and in this case, we got people that look like us who don't give a damn about us. And that brings about the disunity caucus that we have in California. But not only the caucus is showed their disunity to black people in California, but overall, I asked the question, are black people in general really in unity with each other? Or do we spend more time fighting and bickering with one another? And are we on code with one another? Let me let you hear this.
This young woman, Maureen, came to me. She was the nexus of starting this.
Fair use,
what
fair
she
use,
says
fair
today
use.
is what she says today. But in this video, she laid out very clearly where this thing came from. Let's talk about it.
Fair use, fair use, fair use.
When I reached out to you and how that came about, I had only been in Dr. Weber's office for a few weeks at that time. And I was an
Dr.
intern.
Weber. That's
so
Dr.
I
Weber
was
right
only
there.
going to be in Dr. Weber's office for 8 weeks. And I had a
Now, this is another issue. She's been calling herself the mother of reparations. I don't agree with that term, because this woman right now is refusing to take people's phone calls ever since this situation happened. But she named herself mother of reparations, and I don't agree with that. That's just my opinion about it, but let's go on.
conversation with the legislative director about what I wanted to do in my 8 weeks. And said, what do you want to get out of this process? And I said, I want to work on legislation and I want to see how the sausage is made. And they asked me what my
Let me stop that there, put this up here, and
what my legislative aspirations were. I immediately started talking about you. I started talking about ADOS. I started talking about the reparative justice, and reparative justice is something that is near and dear to me. And I asked for their support to be able to present to them the studies that I had gotten from you. So I pulled up your YouTube, I pulled up ADOS101.com, and I began to have conversations in the Capitol about the work that you and Yvette had done. So I can't take credit for a lot of the information. I was just a facilitator of that information. I did some other research, but really, I'll tell you, I was really okay with that part of it. But when I reached out to you, I didn't know how you would receive that. And I remember writing the email. I still remember writing this email. I Googled you to find.
I have to play this because this is actually the beginning of the process that led to the California Reparations Task Force, the initial, let me find this right here. Which was AB 3121, changes the Reparation Task Force to study the institution of slavery and its lineage, its lingering negative effects on living Black Americans, including descendants of persons of enslaved in the United States, and on society. And additionally, the task force will recommend appropriate remedies of compensation, rehabilitation, restitution for Black Americans, with special considerations for descendants of persons enslaved in the United States by statute. Task force will issue reports to the legislation by June 1st, 2022. That was a few years ago, which will be available to the public. This is how all this stuff got kicked off, with him talking to this young lady right here who was working in government. How to qualify for reparations in California. The group considered factors beyond slavery, including housing discrimination, health harm, mass incarceration, excessive policing. It is recommended that only residents, descendants from slavery, or from free Black Americans who live in the United States prior to the 1900s would be eligible for reparations. This is one way that they were thinking about having a criteria.
Your email address, and I sent you an email and asked you if I could please have a conversation with you. At that time, we did not have a bill. We didn't have anything. It was an idea, and I wanted to be able to get your support.
Naps TV says that Cornel West, Jill Stein, Williams, and have reparations on their platform. Why aren't all these never comma folks backing him instead of back? See, Naps, you making a lot of sense now. That's what I've been thinking, man, as I've been thinking through this whole situation. I do find it interesting that everybody, all these black folks on the YouTube streets keep talking Trump, 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 Trump. But yet Trump doesn't have a platform for reparations. You making perfect sense here, right? It's actually, you're right. It's actually Cornel West. Cornel West is talking reparations. Cornel West is talking about what's happening to black people. Trump's not talking about our plight. He's not talking about our issues. Kamala Harris is not doing anything like that either. But yet, nobody is giving him any attention. Why is it that nobody on YouTube, why are all these black folks who are talking about Kamala Harris, and yes, she has her issues, and all these black folks that are talking Trump up, why is nobody talking about what's happening to Cornel West? How these political parties are trying to shut him out. The Democratic Party in particular has been trying to shut him out. Why is nobody talking about his platform? Why are black folks not talking about supporting this black man? But you rather drink the white man's ice because you think the white man's ice is colder than the black man's ice. This man is pushing reparations, but Donald Trump's not pushing reparations. Why is nobody giving Cornel West any damn respect when he talks up for black folks? Donald Trump doesn't talk up for us. Donald Trump doesn't give a damn about us. He only cares about himself, and that's it. At least Cornel West gives a damn about black folks. But nobody talks about that. That's a good point. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
And ask you if we could do this.
We didn't have anything. These people came through me being nice enough to let them be around. That's just what happened. Then they went in there and botched this and switched this Kamilah lady in. She don't know what she talking about half the time. So now where we're at is that you have these people that in large part came off of fan clubs from the ADOS movement. If they were talking about reparations 10 years ago, please do show me the Huffington Post pieces. Please do show me the Griot pieces. What you actually find is that, like this gentleman here, he bought, like, I made 8-9 shirts. He bought 2 of them. Like like these are people that were fans of our shows that now have run amok with their own ego, in my view. And they don't.
All right, let's go to the next video right here with Tone. And here we go.
Of movement, but the movement came off of the political projects that me and Yvette created a decade ago. So Coates comes out with his article, Obama
Let me put this on the screen right
and
here.
the support for reparations dies. I know this because the Wall Street Journal.
I want to stop this right here. So Tone Talk says that he actually made a recommendation for this scale. Reparations for Black Americans gain new momentum. The number of co-sponsors for the House legislation to create a commission to studying reparations. In 1989, Reparations Commission legislation introduced for the first time. Look at the low. Now the blue line represents the attention to it. Look how low it is. Between 2011 and 2016, President Obama on reparations dampened support. So support went completely down, right? Now in 1989, there was a little support that was dipping and then it went up a little bit. Then it started to dip by the time we got between 2011 and 2016. What he's trying to say is that in 2019, most Democrat presidential candidates endorsed the bill or the idea of reparations, and that's where it spiked up. This is what Tone Talks is talking about. I decided to take his graph and enlarge it there for you.
Author that did this chart did it because I told him to do it. I represented to him that the amount of support for reparations dies off after Coates. This uptick is all ADOS, American.
Let me put this up here like so, and boom.
Slavery. It wasn't FBA or this CJAC thing. I don't even know what it is. FBA is a tangent that.
CJAC is a California coalition that is supporting the idea of reparations, and they are a California-based organization that's there to have the backs of black folks here in California as it relates to these issues and the mistreatment of how black folks been mistreated. So Tone Talk says he don't even know. Well, then just research, brother.
Tariq did, because after he called us a godsend, he doesn't have the educational background to understand this topic. I believe, he said he's a high school dropout. I don't know. I went to UCLA, studied political science. The criteria that you have to learn about politics is at a whole nother level than 10th grade fucking U.S. history in Alabama. I don't know what you guys are doing. I just know that right now you fucked up reparations.
So Tone Talk's position is that the people that were at the Sacramento, California Capitol at the assembly, that those black people that were there, that were calling the Black Caucus out, that he feels that these are people who were once members of ADOS and they sort of split. Remember I said, it doesn't help us when we create other groups, but his position is that because we need to be unified, right, under one big giant branch, but we know that people are going to split off for various reasons. He's trying to say that he believes that these are people that were once members of ADOS, that fell out with ADOS, fell out with him and Yvette Carnell, created their own thing, and that those are the people that were out there at the Capitol, and that they don't have the large numbers that him and Yvette Carnell could bring to the table, and that he feels that their antics and their behavior has actually done more harm and damage to the reparations movement as it relates to what's happening in California, and maybe he's saying abroad. I'm not sure, but what is your thoughts? Make sure you leave comments in the video when this is all over and give us your honest thoughts about this. Let's continue as we get to another video.
This is an abysmal failure. I don't want to hear no crying. I don't want to hear Shirley not taking no calls, Shirley Weber. I want to hear how did we get here?
Okay, everybody, another video. We go another one. Let's play it.
If you go back, after Maureen, the intern, contacts me, I testify on the California Senate floor, and when I testify, there is no Tariq Nasheed. He's not involved with this. The guy is somewhere else. I don't know what he's doing. He's not here. Nothing to do with this. This project is not born of anything other than the ADOS project. I want you to pay $1 million a person. That's stupid. The play was to get the criteria and pressure HR 40 and be ready for this moment where, condolences, Sheila is gone and it's wide open. But because of you not understanding your limitations, you have failed Black America. CJEC and NASD and all the weird stuff that y'all came up with. This is
Antonio Moore. Thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of the ADOS movement and American descendants of slavery across California. The history of racism in California connects to a larger federal level discrimination from slavery to redlining. The resulting cost has created immense wealth inequality that AB 3121 will allow us to study for impact. Even though California entered the Union as a free state, we must be clear. The framers of the state constitution wrote into law the systemic denial of suffrage of other civil rights to blacks. Some even denied entry of all African Americans to California. California even had a fugitive slave laws mentioned earlier that stated any person brought to California pre-statehood as a slave would be considered a slave in the eyes of the law, even though the California Constitution.
So this is when Tone Talks actually did talk to the legislation in California. He was putting forth the plan for a task force. He was putting forth all the ingredients that's necessary in terms of the history, how black people have been wronged in California and just nationally as a group. The impact of slavery, the impact of, I know Tone always talks about black people not having generational wealth and how that has impacted us even all the way to today. So at some point in time, I think Tone is a little, I don't want to say bitter, but I can tell that he's not happy because at one point in time, I don't know if you all know this, he was supposed to be on the California legislation, the task force, and something happened. I don't know if something happened with him and maybe some of the groups that he's going after, maybe the people that he's not cool with anymore that were out there protesting what the Black Caucus did. I don't know what all the internal things are, but for some reason, there were people who did not want Tone on the task force. He was supposed to be on the task force, and something happened behind the scenes where they got him off the task force, where he was not invited to be on the task force. And I think that he feels some kind of way about it because of the fact that him and Yvette Carnell made a big push with this hashtag ADOS, ADOS, and that there were articles written about it. It got to some of the politicians and people in government, and there was a spike of interest around the issues of reparation. And I almost feel like Tone feels like he hasn't gotten the credit that he feels that he deserves him in. That's how it comes off to me, that he's basically saying, hey, these are the people who betrayed us, who are now running around in California pushing reparations, but now they have screwed it all up because they have no proper strategy, and they're not leading a large number of people other than, according to him, 20 or 40 people in the crowd. And the politicians, they're not afraid of that. And I have to say, politicians are afraid of large numbers, millions of people, thousands of people. They are afraid of coalitions of unified people. If you look at every bill that's ever been passed to give people something for some wrong, the Native Americans who got money from this country, do you see any Native Americans running around on social media creating other groups and talking about and fighting against other Native Americans over money that was due them from this country? Hell no. They will gladly take the damn money. And then you'll never hear them on social media talking about, I don't need the, I'm so sick of hearing black people on social media talking about they don't need no reparations. Oh, why do we need it? I'm so sick of these mush-mouth Negroes on the social media streets who got something to say about reparations and, oh, it's y'all begging. The Jewish people took money. Did they beg? Japanese people took money. Every group has taken money from this government and gladly took it for what happened to them. But black folks, we the only ones that have a couple of Sambos and Gumbos in our community, okay, that will gladly get up on social media and say that black folks don't need no reparations. And then we'll talk about, oh, well, you give black people money. These old raccoons that we have on social media, you give black people money, they gonna spend all the money. You give white folks money, they gonna spend their money too. You give Asian people money, they gonna spend their money too. The whole damn country that we live in, America, is in a damn deficit. We got banks that went bankrupt out there in Silicon Valley. Who the hell you think run the economics of this country? It's white folks. And we, guess what? We in a damn deficit. So don't tell me that, oh, well, black people are the only ones that don't know how to manage money. White folks blow money all the goddamn time. Look at the damn country. Our country's in a damn deficit. We got all kind of problems. Hell, California may be in $1 billion deficit. Guess what? You may have some members of the Black Caucus up there, but the majority of the people that run the state are white liberals that got us all in a debt. So they say. So that's why I don't want to hear that argument, because I can show you so many arguments where white folks that run this country got us all in some damn deficits. Remember what happened in 2008 and 2009? We went into a recession because them white boys in Wall Street in New York screwed up the money, blew the money, put in bad investments. Wall Street, run by white boys. Let's just tell the damn truth.
Tell the truth.
And shame the devil.
Banned slavery, and the state entered the Union as a free state, affecting thousands of blacks brought to the state of California during the gold rush. We see the results across our economics. African Americans with this lineage
so I'm gonna pull out of this.
In effect, rendered wealthless due to the cause inequality.
I'm going to pull out of this. Now, this is the truth. For those of you who like Tariq Nasheed, you follow Tariq Nasheed, the fact of the matter is Tariq Nasheed was rocking with ADOS. He even said that Tone Talk, before he started making puppets of them, and making the little, making fun of them and having a back and forth battle with them, Tariq Nasheed loved ADOS. He was rocking it. He was promoting it. He was talking about how Yvette Carnell and Tone Talk were heaven sent. Now you say, no, he didn't. He never said that. You lied, Info. Here's the damn receipt on that one.
Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore are a godsend with their ADOS classification. That's a beautiful thing. That's why I promoted it so much. I was the first one when I heard about, oh, y'all got a I'm with it. Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore are a godsend with their ADOS classification. That's a beautiful thing. That's why I promoted it so much. I was the first one when I heard about, oh, y'all got a I'm with it. Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore are a...
Let's get back out of there, get into this studio here. And I got one more for y'all that you're going to like. They are really turning up in Chicago against the Democrats in Chicago. They are turning up against them. Black folks are tired of being tied in Chicago because guess what happened in Chicago? Because black people are pushing back on this whole migrant situation, this illegal situation that has impacted black people, impacted the resources that black people should get. You got people within the Democratic Party in Chicago who put out signs saying black people hating on immigrants, nonsense, and worse, from people who should know better. This is what and then this sister right here, who's well known in Chicago, she went to their chambers and called the Democrats out saying, take down those damn signs. We don't hate immigrants. We just don't like that people are being pushed in our communities, that we're being impacted financially, economically, that you're doing more for them than you do for the black people that's been here, that put your ass in office, that voted for you. And they put these signs up trying to shame black people in Chicago. You're going to see it on the video, the little sign that they've been putting up in Chicago. And the sister, this is the video that's going to take us home. That's going to be a conclusion to the show. Check this out, everybody. This is really some insane. I'm just going to let it play through. I'm not going to stop it and let y'all observe, take it all in straight up now. Check this out.
You don't hang no signs about black people hating on immigrants, because black people ain't got no reason to hate on no immigrants.
Oh no, but the immigrants got
We
no reason to hate
everything y'all
on us.
are in there, son. Let me tell you something. You get them signs down. Anytime that Ordinary Lawson and Silverstein and what's that other?
Cesar
Can sit up
Lopez.
here and talk about how they should get
I hate to stop it, but I hear what you're saying, Naps. I hear what you're saying. What's going on, Topping Jr.? It's good to see you. Shout out to you, brother. C-Jack and Kamilah Moore and the California Reparations Task Force. They're done great work, and it's not their fault those reparation bills didn't get passed. It's Newsom's fault. And it's also the fault, brother, of those Black Caucus members who did not do what they were supposed to do too, brother. Don't forget that. Let me just put this up here. Don't forget their faces, okay? They were involved in not doing the job that they should have done, okay? I just got to keep it real with you. They didn't do their job. They didn't do their job. They didn't do their job. He didn't do his job. And this man is acting like he did his job, but then there's some questionable things about Bradford as well. That's Isaiah. That's Isaac Bryan. That's lawyer. That's Miss D. Wilson. That's Reggie Sawyer, and that's Sister Tina. They didn't do that. They didn't do their job to bring it forth so it can be put to a vote, so that it can get. See, if they don't put it to a vote, how could it ever get to the hands of the governor? But you're right. Maybe the governor never wanted those bills to get to his desk to have to be in a position to sign them in the first place. That could be, So, brother, all things are possible. I appreciate what you just said, too, but all things are possible. Here we go again.
Hate crime bill because swastikas was in Ziploc bags in that community. They hung this in our community. We want it off the polls. We want that to be the beginning of a hate crime. And that organization, which is a white liberal organization, like in the words of Malcolm X, who told us what? that the white liberal is the worst enemy to the black man.
Yes.
And
To the black
it is
American.
coming up in here acting like y'all representing some social justice.
Say that,
When all along,
Say
all
that.
you're doing is trying to use black people
Say
to
that.
find a reason to make some money.
Say
Let
that.
me tell y'all something over there. We're done. The Democratic Party is done. You ain't gonna mess with us like
Y'all
this
gonna
no
abuse
more.
us.
I'm telling you what I'm
They
telling
get to
you.
abuse the black
Trump
American.
gonna come in here and gonna clean it up. I'm telling you,
red!
the ones that have a righteous heart. You leave the Democratic Party. Do just like RFK Jr. Just do like that Tulsa lady. You better get up out the Democratic Party. Save yourself. Save your families. Save your dignity. Save your jobs. And save your seat. Because if y'all don't, we coming for your seats. We ain't taking this no more. We ain't taking no disrespect from a bunch of people who have broken into the country and now have completely
What's going on,
broke the
Cap?
city,
Cap
have
PY2,
completely
good to see you,
broke
brother.
The country have completely
Eyes of the Watcher, good to see you.
The United States of America. America is a disgrace. And for us, oh my God, for the solution, you give us a fake, black, cackling head.
Hey, just for a point of clarification, the old man in the background is doing more than young bucks are in Chicago. He's at every hearing. He's out there on the streets. That older brother is a well-known black man in Chicago. He's an artist. He wears outfits where it looks like he's got paint on the clothes. This dude is an old school Chicagoan. He's well respected out there, and he's out there as an older black man, probably in his 80s and 90s, out there fighting for us and fighting for black people in Chicago, probably doing more than these young cats are doing in Chicago. So let's give him some respect. When he's at these meetings, he does speak up. He's sort of like a hype man. When people are talking, he'll get up and be like, yeah. And guess what? I got no problem with it.
Of a candidate with a vice president that's talking about he want to put tampons in the boys' bathroom. Ain't nobody dealing with this. The number one function of a president is to be the commander-in-chief. You tell me anything about a Kamilah Harris that look like she can protect this country after y'all have sat up here and they get it overridden with a bunch of illegal immigrants. Y'all have sat up here and put America's hands in all kind of wars. And you telling me a tampon man that ran from duty don't even know what his rule was. Kamilah Harris, who don't know what race she is, gonna protect this country? The devil is a lie. Y'all better keep some signs down. Yeah. I know that.
I hope you got something out of that, everybody. Peace to you. It was powerful. Sorry for the delay there, but that was pretty powerful, what she was saying. And I think black folks are fed up all across the country with the things that Democrats do to disrespect us. And we have a right to feel that way because we've been the biggest voting bloc for the Democratic Party for decades, for over 60 years. And so what they're doing in Chicago is they're putting up these signs and trying to hate on black people by saying that black people are hating on the illegals. When the illegals came there and black people are seeing that the illegals are getting everything that they're not getting. We got black homelessness in Chicago. We got black folks that are struggling in Chicago. And when these illegals come over, they seem to be getting all the resources. They seem to be able to find money for them, but they can't find money for black people that have already been living there, and that some of those black folks have even put these politicians in office. That's a damn shame. With that said, folks, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I appreciate you listening today. I hope you got something out of the show. If you've enjoyed the show and you got some good information out of the show, put 7s in the chat room. Put the 7s in the chat room to let me know. Share this in your Facebook, your X, whatever you got, your community tab. I appreciate you. We'll be back with something next week. Make sure you subscribe to the Info Media Reacts channel. Info Media Reacts channel. I'll be dropping a uploaded video, hopefully on that channel tomorrow or during this week. I'm gonna get back on the saddle on that channel and continue the very polarizing content on that channel. So I appreciate you all. I'm gonna give you all a clap. Thank you for coming over. Cap, it's good to see you. Jay the Informant, thank you for the 7s. Make sure you check out, once again, subscribe to the Info Media channel. If you like football and you like what's going on at Colorado, unfortunately, they lost a really tough game yesterday. Check out my Prime Sports Media channel. Subscribe to that channel if you like. Check out the Info Media Reacts channel. Immediately get to that channel and subscribe. And we're going to just keep everything going within these mediums that we're using on YouTube to put out the information, to break things down. I'm going to still say this, and I'm going to stand on this 10 toes down. I still think that we need to figure out a way as Black people to be on code, to be unified, to work together, and not to splinter ourselves. Because I think if we're all on the same page and on the same code for reparations, we're going to have a better chance of getting what we want when we're going to build, when we have the numbers, we have the coalition, and we have everybody together and nobody backbiting on each other. That's just how I feel about it. So with that said, everybody, I want to thank you, and you have a good night. Peace. Peace, everybody. I'll see you soon. And I appreciate everybody out there. Check it out.
Time's been moving slowly, so we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other, heavy teasing all day, and when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turn to morning dew, then you feel it rushing in, lose control. You don't wanna go slow, for sure. We both already know your place is my place. No, my place is your place. Let's face it, baby. You know all the places. My place is your place. My place. Your place. My place. Just face it. No one knows my places like you do. Your places like I do. My place like you do. Baby, don't stop. Got the key to the lock. We in our own zone. Make yourself at home. Get to know mine on the inside. We can meet at yours next time. And you feel it rushing in. Lose control. You don't wanna go slow, for sure. We both already know your place is my place now.
Tell the truth.